All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Peculiar Happenings. This is a bit of a different episode. Our dear co-host Lee is indisposed because, they just have so much important stuff they have to work on for season 5 of Stranger Things. It's really important. They had a dinner date with Joe Keery. It's super serious stuff, and I was like, obviously, I understand this takes priority, my friend, but the show must go on. So I have here with me my friend Tori from the radio station. Introduce yourself.
Yay!
Tell us a fun fact.
Hello, my name is Tori. I just started doing radio station stuff my sophomore year, and I've never done a radio show before, so this is a new thing for me, and I'm very excited.
Yes, indeed. So this episode was originally conceived. We're going to do a bit of a Stranger Things interview, but worry not. There will be more on that in the future. You will be getting interviewed. It'll be super serious. We'll have paparazzi, a ton of cameras, all that sort of thing.
I know a ton of stuff.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Separate from a quiz episode, because we've also thought about having a quiz episode, which I think would be really fun, which is just like quizzing people on random trivia, regardless of how much they actually know about the show. Which that might be fun. That might also be another Radiothon episode idea for Lee Ames and the Shelbster.
That sounds rad. I'd do that.
Yeah. So yes, Tori, radio station stuff. Are you still doing stuff in the archives? Because I think that's how I first met you.
That
archive
is
stuff.
my main thing.
Yes.
I work in the archives like 2 to 3 times a week, and it's my favorite thing to do. I love to go through all the CDs and the vinyls, especially. I love older music. I love 80s music.
Yes, there's so much good 80s music in there.
Yes.
Oh yeah. But yes, that's how we originally met, because I was originally doing archive stuff too when I still had time for it. Oh,
Yeah.
Fly high my time.
Oh my god.
I no longer have any to be in the archives, sadly. Very sadly.
I kind of got to carve it into my schedule. I chip at my schedule with an ice pick to make room for it.
That's usually what I try to do, but now that I have regular shop hours in the costume shop, that's what takes up most of my time. And any other free time I have is basically time I either need for myself to stay sane or time to do all my homework.
That's valid.
It's
I don't
very
have the
tragic.
stay sane time.
No stay sane time? Well, is archives your stay sane time?
I would
A
say
little.
yes.
That could be it.
The other archivists keep me sane.
This is true. It's so fun. I found a lot of really good music when I was in there.
Yeah.
Sometimes I would just go in there when I was assistant. I feel bad. The last time I was doing an assistantship, I didn't do a very good job at it, because it was last year and I had so many different things going on. I had no time. I was really stressed. I probably shouldn't have done it, but I was like, oh, I'll do it anyway. So a lot of the time I wasn't able to come in, but I still had access to the archive sometimes. So I'd go in and I'd put on a record and do my chemistry homework.
Yeah, take a peek.
It's if I'm losing my mind, I might as well sit and listen to Oingo Boingo.
Yes.
While I'm at it.
I kind of did a similar thing today, because we've been going through all the vinyls and reorganizing all the vinyls.
Very nice.
And I think I went through 30 of them this week, because our minimum per week is 20 vinyls and logging them into Discogs. But I went through all of them,
that.
And then I kind of hit my peak, and then I pulled out, there's a bunch of Stevie Wonder vinyls in my section, and I just kind of sat there and I listened to Stevie Wonder and I read fan fiction on my phone.
That's so beautiful. I love that. I really enjoyed the cataloging part on Discogs, especially when you could see how much things were valued at. That was nuts to me. It was also really fun, because I think when they first started incorporating Discogs into the system, it was Kelly doing it when Kelly was still archivist. And I think Kelly actually wasn't too familiar with it and was like, hey, do any of you guys know how to use Discogs? And I was like, I do, because one of my friends who's a music nerd had gotten me on it when I started to get a bunch of vinyls when I got a record player a couple years ago. So I also have my own Discogs account, but it's not nearly as impressive as the radio stations for obvious reasons.
The radio station literally, because I hadn't really known what Discogs was, because I love vinyls. My dad's a big collector, but I made a Discogs account because of working in the archives. I don't really have any.
You'll get there.
But I do have. I've been starting to collect CDs, because I have a CD player in my car.
CDs are so good. I love CDs.
R.I.P. Honey for the time being, because my car is not fixed yet.
Oh no!
But
rest in peace.
She's temporarily less in peace. She's in a coma.
Oh, she'll be reanimated. Reanimator style. You just got to get Herbert West, the car mechanic.
Yes.
I'm just imagining Reanimator, but if it was with cars.
But with a car
and a mechanic.
Oh. I'm thinking
that would be
of,
funny.
There's a specific episode. Have you ever watched Supernatural?
Yes.
There's the episode Changing Channels when Sam is the car, and it's a reference to
oh my God.
the David Hasselhoff show where his best friend's a car. And Sam's the car, and Dean is David Hasselhoff.
It's been so long. I watched all of that show in like middle school through high school, but it's been so long since I've actually watched some of it. And I really should rewatch it sometime because I think I'd appreciate it more with the camp instead of the mindset I had when I was watching it when I was like 13 years old, which was like,
this is so serious.
Oh my God, this is so serious. No, yeah, it's an inherently, it's a ridiculous show. It's ridiculous.
I think that's what makes it good. And then they kind of, and near the end, they were like taking themselves seriously, but it somehow made it less serious.
Yeah, because I think there's only so many times you can play out, oh no, the world is ending. But we fixed it. But it's ending again, and it's worse.
Oh my god!
There's only so many times you can do that in a row without there just being an inherent level of comedy, I think.
Yeah, and then Dean goes flirts with women and eats pie, and they're like, Sam's a moose. They have the same jokes.
Yeah. So. Oh yeah. But so this is basically going to be the format for the episode, which is we just talk about random things, which isn't too far of a departure from our usual peculiar happenings format. Because there's some episodes that we have that are more structured. We'll have certain talking points we'll go to. There's some where we'll write down like 3 bullet points and then just go nuts. And then there's some where I'll say like something to Lee earlier, and then we'll have like, do you want to do that for the episode? And they'll be like, yeah. And then we just sit down in the booth and start talking.
Why not?
So I figure it's going to be pretty much the same because I think you and we definitely have a lot of overlap in our interests, specifically like I know we both like a lot of the campy horror movies. Although I think you've definitely seen more than me because I mainly relegate mine to the campy like slash genre. You've seen more serious horror.
I think I have a couple. Yeah, I like to explore a little bit. I think I've seen a little more modern ones as well.
Yes, I'm catching up on all like the 70s through 80s through 90s.
You're up to date. Every horror movie starting in the 70s.
That's kind of where I'm at for music. Well, no, because I'll be reading stuff about like horror movies and the start of the genre or something like, oh wow, there's some really fundamental movies from the 60s I should watch. And then the further back I go, the more I'm like, oh, there's also these movies from the 50s. And these 1930s movies too.
You're gonna get to black and white pictures where it's like the
I already have. I haven't gotten to silent movies yet, but I have gotten back to like House on Haunted Hill with Vincent Price because the whole thing's free on Wikipedia, so I was just like, I might as well.
Is it really?
Yes. Sometimes if movies are old enough, they just have them on Wikipedia for free, and it's beautiful.
Have you seen the original Nosferatu?
Yes. I did a project on it. So actually, you're right. I already have gotten to that.
Okay,
I've already gotten to that point. The joke that I made after seeing the new one to a lot of my friends who didn't get it at first, I was like, yeah, the new one was pretty good, but the soundtrack of the original was just so much better.
That's funny. I giggled.
I thought it was funny.
No, it is. But, I had to register.
But then people would just come be like, oh, yeah, wasn't it? I was like, no, it was a silent movie. You didn't get the joke. But yeah. Yes. I've also, for some reason, I've also gotten into like lost film. So I think that's really interesting. Wouldn't it be cool if you just find like a reel of a lost film that's been like literally the only few copies of it are lost, were destroyed in like one of the many film vault fires that they had just apparently all the time in the early 19th century.
Okay, I think I misunderstood because I thought you were talking about found footage for a second.
Oh,
but you just mean like very exclusive.
I mean films where all of the known copies have either been destroyed or lost. And like there might hypothetically be a copy out there somewhere of this film that exists, but nobody knows where it is. It's in like some eccentric collector's attic where it's sat since like 1950 something.
Surrounded by dust.
Yes. Yeah. I've also this is just really random. Like visually, for some reason I'm gonna pull up a picture on this computer here because I always forget this computer is here and you can use it. Nitrate film decomposition.
Oh,
looks really cool.
Let's see this. Oh,
like
I'm trying to
hold on. Let me
how to describe it.
It's like wavy. It's goopy. It's kind of freaky, and I really enjoy it. And I just think it looks really neat. It's basically the film what the film is on is nitrocellulose. I think it's chemically unstable and it just sort of like decays and disintegrates, and it sort of just melts in this one big chunk. And there's some really cool examples of like specific frames that are just like fully disintegrated. It looks like there's like it kind of looks mold like almost. Like if it was imagine melted plastic and mold, and you basically have the vibe of like nitrate film decomposition.
Sounds delicious.
And I just think it makes some really cool effects. I think it's an untapped area for like practical effects.
Yeah, I feel like that could be
or like movie effects.
Yeah.
Like if you have some sort of horror movie and it's so messed up, it's like the physical fabric of the movie you're watching has been altered by the images that it holds, or something like that. You could go kind of crazy with that. I think.
No, that could be a really interesting concept.
Kind of crazy with that.
No,
but
I love when movies get like super creative with their concepts.
I know.
I think that's also why you made me think of found footage horror movies, which I haven't actually seen a lot of. Because I haven't seen. I think the most infamous one is the Blair Witch Project.
Yeah,
haven't seen it, but you know what I have seen?
What?
There's the Scooby Project. Which is
that the Scooby-Doo parody?
Yes, it's literally just the Blair Witch Project, but it's the Scooby-Doo characters. And because they're like directly supposed to be the characters from the original movie, they act really out of character, and they're all very mean to Velma. And they're just like, like specifically, they just keep dogging on Velma. And
that's really funny. I've seen clips of it. Was it from Adult Swim?
I think it was. There was also a specific thing that because Dead Meat had a thing where they talked about it, and someone who worked on it, I want to say, was involved with like a production company that does horror movies. It might have been Blumhouse, but I forget which video it was from.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool though. But yes, I have seen clips of that. I also haven't seen a lot of found footage. Because as much as I do like horror stuff, it does make me too paranoid sometimes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ooh, can't do that. Like, listen, I'll take some random guy with an axe any day.
Yeah.
But if it gets a little too psychological with it, that freaks me out. Like, have you ever seen The Haunting of Bly Manor?
Oh my, wait, I think we talked about this because I haven't. But I love supernatural horror, and I heard those shows are really good.
Really like. It's been a while since I've rewatched. So I haven't seen Hill House, but I've seen Bly Manor. It's been a while since I've watched it. From what I remember, it was pretty solid. And the thing it did that freaked me out, it would have, and Hill House does the same thing from what I've seen from the first episode. It would have these big, like, wide shots of a hallway, and you have a character on like the left half of the shot talking to the other person on screen who like you're sort of seeing from the perspective of, and in the background, the entire time. There's like something standing in the background, but you don't notice it's there until it like moves and walks off screen. Ooh. And then you realize it was there the entire time, and that's why the shot was so weird. Because there are a lot of shots you'll be like, the character's not really in the center of the frame. What's the deal? Or you'll see like over their shoulder, and if you're paying attention, you'll kind of like you'll be looking in the back and you're like, what's that over there? And then there's movement, and suddenly there's just like a plague doctor walking off screen, and you go, "Oh no, that's scary."
Sight is a really underrated thing in horror, and I think especially the best horror movies have just very interesting camera work. Like, I think of, I don't know if you've seen Midsommar. I think that some people think it's a little overrated, and I think it also kind of started that whole like A24 horror kind of
Yes,
trend.
I haven't seen it, but I've seen a lot about it, and I know what it's about. I know the plot.
And Florence Pugh is there.
Florence Pugh is there, yes.
And she's doing her frowny face thing.
Yeah, her little frowny face thing.
And I know also, oh my God, I forget, I think his name is, I want to say his name is William Jackson Harper. He played Chidi in The Good Place, if you've seen The Good Place.
I've seen The Good Place. I love The Good Place.
And then also Will Poulter, if you've seen Maze Runner.
Ooh.
You might know him as the actor with the eyebrows.
Eyebrows?
He's also known as kind of looking a little bit like Sid from Toy Story.
That's okay. I think I might know this guy actually. That's really funny.
Or
that's
if you
really
know
funny.
the Where the Millers meme, where it's like, you guys are getting paid?
Yes, I do. Oh, yes, I know who that kid is. Yeah.
Goofy.
Oh yeah. But found footage, I definitely need to delve more into. I think honestly, I like my really campy slasher horrors. I think I also really like. I think my other favorite genre is probably like gothic or historical though.
Yes.
Because the more I see, the more I really like. Like I watched The Witch for the first time.
I was literally gonna say when you said
that That is one of my favorites. I also really enjoyed Nosferatu. Surprise, surprise. I watched Crimson Peak last night with one of my roommates who'd never seen it before.
That's on my watch list.
It's quite good. It's quite good. They go full gothic with it.
They go
full gothic with it. The vibes are on point. But yeah, I think those are my favorite genres. I have, with one of my friends, we have a watch list where we also want to watch like The Lighthouse and Sinners.
You didn't see it?
I've seen it like 3 times by now.
Yes.
But I've been going around with all my other friends and watching it because they'll be like, I want to watch it. I'm like, all right, let me pull up my streaming site. But I loved Sinners. My legal streaming services. Netflix is what I'm talking about. What did you think I was talking about?
Hulu.com.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Sinners is perfect.
It was so good.
That also, honestly, I'd also put that in the category of more like historical horror.
I think yes.
Maybe not historical, maybe more like vintage horror.
Yeah,
vintage.
But there's historical elements in it, and kind of like a blend of like that supernatural stuff as well.
Oh yeah, which by the way, that's me personally. That's how you do vampires, right?
Yes.
You make them a metaphor. Listen, anything else, most of the time, I stand by this. Anything else falls flat. If you do not have your vampires as a metaphor for some sort of other societal otherness. In this case, I think Sinners did a really good job with the vampires and being a metaphor for cultural assimilation in 1930s America. I thought it was flawless, very good. No notes. Beautiful practical effects. Beautiful casting.
Good.
I can't believe they got Michael A. and Michael B. Jordan for this movie.
And B?
I know, it was crazy.
Oh my goodness.
Absolutely crazy.
Oh, I can't believe Vi was in that movie. Because Haley Steinfeld.
I completely forgot that. I forgot that Vi is voiced by Haley Steinfeld. That's insane.
It's also really funny. She voices Vi and she voices Gwen.
Oh my. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And then I know she was also in the Hawkeye show, but I didn't watch that show.
The Hawkeye show?
There's a Hawkeye show.
Oh, you said Hawkeye show. I thought you said the Hot Guy show.
She's in the Hot Guy show.
And I was like, what?
With all the hot guys.
I did watch the Hawkeye show, but it was like 3 years ago. I don't remember a lot about it.
Yeah.
I think I don't keep up on a lot of the superhero shows, honestly, because there's too many. I don't have time for that.
That's valid. I haven't watched a ton of the shows. I think Marvel especially. I'm very into the X-Men, and they haven't.
Yes, you've mentioned this, and that's real.
They haven't really done anything with it. But speaking kind of like of horror and Marvel, there was the Werewolf by Night.
I saw that. I didn't rewatch it recently, but I watched the Dead Meat for it, which is what I do sometimes. Sometimes I'll be like, I don't want to watch. I want to watch the movie, but I don't want to watch the whole movie, and I want a funny little guy making comments. Dead Meat. Yes. James A. Janice.
James A. Janice has got your back.
James A. Janice has got my back. So I put that on, and I honestly forgot how solid the vibes were. The practical effects for Swamp Thing.
Oh my god, it's so cool.
Man, that was pretty good.
I think that's another reason why I feel like superhero movies used to be a little bit more campy with the practical effects. Like I think of the Fox X-Men movies because it's all like practical, and they have like Wolverine's got like the claws that are like built to come out, and Sabretooth gets hit by something and he flies through the air, and you can tell he's on wires, but it just gives it this like charm that I feel like a lot of like a ton of CGI doesn't really make up for.
Oh yeah, because I think I like practical because I really like the creative problem solving and like artistic elements of it, but I also like it because you can tell the difference. And I know it's hard for me to watch movies, even if it's breathtakingly done. It's hard sometimes to watch movies that have just so much CGI because it's not as appealing as knowing like that was a real person and they got covered with like 2 pounds of dyed red corn syrup for this shot. Like there's a different level to the watching as a viewer, knowing if this was something real that people could interact with versus if it was all just computer generated. And I think both have their place, but I just like practical effects.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Like
I feel like the best kind of thing is when it's kind of blended together.
Yes.
I just
you
feel
need
like
a balance.
Yeah, I feel like using CGI kind of as a crutch is just like, I don't want to say lazy because like CGI, I'm not saying that's easy to do, but it's definitely easier by comparison.
Yeah.
Because with CGI, if you have issues, you reset it, you try it again, and then it's just kind of like you have like a system, you reset it.
Yeah.
And with practical effects, you have to rebuild over and over and over again. And I think especially actors have to go through crazy things with practical effects. Like the two things that came to mind were The Substance. Oh my God, Demi Moore in The Substance she went through crazy stuff because she had this. I don't want to spoil it, but she had.
You can spoil. It's okay. This is basic. Our whole show is basically based around Stranger Things spoilers. So, at this point, all the seasons have been out for at least 3 years. That is on you.
You gotta.
That is on you.
If you're not caught up yet,
you gotta get on that. Time's a ticking.
Yeah,
time's a ticking.
Oh, I like that noise.
Oh, it's my watch.
It's your watch.
It does make a fun sound. ASMR. It's just me hitting my watch. But yes.
With Demi Moore, just the amount of like stuff they were putting on her to make this like practical monster.
Yeah.
She was having like real pain and like back problems. And it's again, you don't want people to get hurt from practical effects, but it's just the effort that is put into it.
Oh yeah, and I think there's definitely something for you said. Like, as much as I love practical effects, I don't want it to be like whatever the situation was with the first Evil Dead movie, where it was just a bunch of college kids alone in the woods doing whatever the heck they felt like. Have you heard about how screwed up the production for that movie was? I forget if it's on commentary. I forget if Dead Meat covered it, but it was some insane stuff. Like, Bruce Campbell hurt his ankle. Oh. And then Sam Raimi kept poking it with a stick for the entire shoot and made it worse. And my favorite one is when they had the shot of him, like, shooting through the window. And I think it was commentary. I'm pretty sure it was commentary with Bruce Campbell. And he was talking about how he's like, it was 1979 something. Yeah. We didn't have breakaway glass. We didn't have, like, a prop gun. So what we did is we set up the camera outside the window. We made sure that people were out of the way, and then I just shot through the glass.
He didn't even have a stunt double?
I don't think so, yeah. And that, because the movie was made on a budget of, like, I don't know, $3,000, $5,000, and it was a bunch of college kids. And then the ending shot was just Sam Raimi with a camera on a motorcycle.
Yes.
Going through the woods and into the house and, like, mowing over Bruce Campbell.
He drew. I did know that. He, like, drove at it in full speed.
So I love practical effects as much as the next guy, but, maybe don't do practical effects like that to the extent where it's like to the harm of the actors. I would say is where I would be like, no, maybe not. But yeah.
I think also specifically like gonna get kind of into Stranger Things territory a little bit.
Yes.
I've been watching because they've started getting into like promo season, and the cast has been rewatching the previous seasons.
I've also watched that. I also watched that,
and they were all talking about how much like when the show was just starting and they didn't know it was going to be as big as it was. Ooh. They were very heavily relying on practical effects, and I think that just kind of says a lot about not even like indie, because I don't know if it would classify as indie because it was Netflix.
It was Netflix, but it was like it definitely was not as big of a production as it is today, for sure.
Yeah. Oh my God. The budget now, like the budget for season 5.
What is the budget for season 5?
Hold on. Yeah. I just
Let me pull up on my new best friend computer in the recording booth.
I wish the wallpaper was pretty.
I mean, we could make it something. I don't know. I don't know if they would care. Has a mind-boggling budget. Okay, who do we want to trust more? Superhero hype India Times, Barstool Sports, Game Reactor UK.
Oh, like the one with Winona Ryder on the cover.
You're so right. Winona Ryder would never lie to me.
She would never lie.
5th and final season finale on Netflix in 3 parts. By the way, the first set of episodes comes out on my 21st birthday.
Wait, really?
Yes, November 26th.
Yay!
I saw that is when the first set of episodes was coming out, and I was like, you have got to be kidding me. And then I was like, wait, oh no, that's going to be on Thanksgiving break.
Yes.
What am I going to do if I can't watch it with my podcast wife, Lee?
Oh no.
Okay.
Can you call?
I don't know. Maybe. we'll have to see what the plan is. We might Discord call. I might if they want to come home with me for a break. We'll figure it out. Figure it out.
You have to adapt.
Okay, let's see. 8 feature-length episodes. I love that.
Yes.
More than $400 million.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Oh, mama.
And then I know they're like way longer than the previous season episodes.
They're gonna be like movie length.
Yeah.
Which, you know what? With all it's such a popular show, so of course they get the leeway. But I'm like, you know what? With all the other shows that have gotten screwed over, having like 8 40-minute long episodes that aren't given the time they need to truly breathe and be something phenomenal. Like the Percy Jackson show, for example.
Oh my goodness.
I love the Percy Jackson show. I think they did a great job, but it has the issue that a lot of modern shows do with pacing, which is they just don't give the characters enough room to breathe and have those little character interactions that kind of make it feel like a fully fleshed out world. So it's just like with a lot of shows, it's a lot of action. It's like a thing happens, and a thing happens, and a thing happens. We need some balance of filler episodes. Yeah. I think.
No,
that's me.
I literally completely agree, especially because the book. There's so many filler chapters in the book of just like Annabeth and Grover and Percy just stumbling on stuff.
Oh yeah, and like I know a lot of people don't. I know a lot of people don't like filler. And it's like, oh, I just want all the action. But the thing is, the filler is. Even though it's called filler and it's not like the main plot happening, that's where you have your side plots.
Yeah.
That's where you have the character interactions.
Fleshing them out.
That's where they get fleshed out. That's where you develop their relationships. And it is really, really important to making, I think, a well-balanced, well-paced show.
Yes. I think especially with like a relationship that's supposed to be like a slow burn, like Percy and Annabeth. If you don't have that foundation, how are people supposed to get invested? Exactly. I think the thing that I had, because I like the show as someone who is the biggest Percy Jackson fan. Yes. I was so excited, and I thought the actors were perfect. I am blanking on his name, but Grover's actor was genuinely like, they like shook at the book, and he like fell out. He was perfect.
He did do really good.
He was so good.
He did do
and that's
good.
Not to say that the others didn't do good, but I thought he was just like incredible.
I think Percy's actor was also really good because the first thing I saw him in was a movie that my mom wanted to watch with Ryan. It was the Adam Project with Ryan Reynolds. And I'm like, okay, well, if you have this guy playing a kid version of Ryan Reynolds, and then you cast him as Percy Jackson, that feels pretty good. It feels true from the heart that this guy is going to be as much of a snarky little jerk as Percy is sometimes.
Yeah. No, I definitely get it.
Oh yeah, but yes, I'm very, very excited for the final season.
Yes. Well, also season 2 of Percy Jackson comes out soon.
Yes. Oh, it's gonna be all at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, there's been a lot of Percy Jackson in my life lately because that's the show that the costume shop is working on right now.
Yes.
Which I'm probably gonna go to student preview because I've never been to student preview and I've heard it's really fun.
I want to go see it because I went to student preview for Legally Blonde.
I heard that was so fun. I went and
really
saw
good.
it when my parents came out for Parents Weekend and it was like full.
Really?
It was full. It was so fun. It was really good. Honestly, I think. One of the funniest things, do you know the guy that played the UPS guy, like the hot UPS guy?
Wait, I know who he is.
I know who he is through association because I think he's like the half-brother of one of my brother's best friends, Jacob. Oh, Jacob Workman.
I know him because he's in one of the other a cappella groups.
So that's cool.
Saw him at the different like a cappella shows we did.
But the fun little costume shop tidbit fact apparently was because he's supposed to be like the hot UPS guy. They gave him these short little shorts. And they were like, all right, we're going to give you these short little shorts. Let us know if you're uncomfortable. Let us know if they're too short. We can make them longer. And he was like, can you make them shorter, actually?
No, that's my favorite bit in Legally Blonde in the musical because that part when he's like walking is to buy the time for the actors to do like their quick changes and like switch the things out.
I don't know the lore behind why it is. I just thought it was really funny, which is embarrassing because it's like I work on the costumes, but I'm like I just go see the show and I go, wow, that's so funny.
Wow, No, the Fred musicals are always good. Yeah, I saw Legally Blonde, and then my freshman year, Natasha Pierre and the Great Comet of 1812.
I didn't see that because that was one of the first things. So I think I originally started sophomore year, but I remember doing some things for that. So I must have started doing something at some point in my freshman year in the costume shop. And then, what else was there? I know Legally Blonde, that was insane for the costume shop. There are
costumes.
So many costumes. I think everyone was kind of stressed out of their mind. But it came out okay.
No, it was amazing.
It was fantastic. fantastic.
Everyone was perfectly cast.
And then
too.
I forget what was the musical sophomore year. Because I know unless freshman, Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, but I'm a year younger.
You're a
than
year
you.
younger. I always forget that. Okay, yeah. So then it was. I'm 20. How old are you?
We're the same age.
We're the same age. I'm 20. If you're gonna call
turning 21 before I.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But people say that to me sometimes, and I'm like, how old do you guys think I am? I'm 20.
No, you don't seem.
I'm a little feller.
I
don't know anything. I'm just a little guy. But no. So then that was sophomore year, and that was the first show that I worked on. Because my freshman year, I think, was Romeo and Juliet, which I didn't work on because I wasn't in the shop at that point. And then last year was Legally Blonde, and I also saw 12th Night. 12th Night was quite good.
I was really sad I wasn't able to see that because I
tragic.
knew people that were in it and I wanted to see it, and then my schedule just got really busy. But I do want to see The Lightning Thief. And
yes,
I
do recommend.
My sister is going to come up and see it because she recently got into the Percy Jackson books. Because she's 16 years old.
Real.
So she got into it because...
That's like the same age I got into Percy Jackson. Because I never read it in middle school when everyone else was reading it. And I was like, I guess I should see what it's all about. And I read it all during like COVID. And I was like,
it was required reading for us. We were required to read The Lightning Thief. We weren't required to read the rest of them, but I got really into it. And then my friend group in middle school, we were heavily divided, like half Harry Potter kids, half Percy Jackson kids.
See, I was one of the Harry Potter kids who like read Harry Potter 22 times before middle school, and then I stopped keeping track, which explains some things, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I love fantasy, and then I watched, I read Harry Potter, and then I watched all the movies.
Yes.
And I love fantasy. There's just a lot of things with the world building, and then the obvious with the author. We don't
Harry
even
Potter.
have to get into her.
Yeah. It's just it's really disappointing. You know, I think the best way to combat it is if you still do like Harry Potter, just read exclusively like fan fictions or fan content where all of the characters are like gay and or trans.
I was gonna say
like that's what I call reclaiming.
Completely a different thing.
Yes.
Those characters are barely like talked about or fleshed out in the books.
Yes, because that's one of my roommates and one of my friends, Gianna, also really likes the Marauders. I feel like at this point someone just needs to reclaim the concept of the Marauders and like make their own series based off of them.
Like when the author copyright on them.
Maybe.
When does it expire?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
There's been a lot of fan films about them. I've seen a whole bunch. I think that's the thing.
That's interesting.
The thing with Harry Potter is that there's so many creative fans, and that I think that kind of makes up for it because they take like the scraps.
At this point, it feels like it's at this point, especially with a lot of stuff like you said, the films and the fan fiction. It definitely feels a lot more like the fans concept at this point. Because at a certain, I feel like this way about a lot of fan fiction and stuff. I feel like at a certain point, with what you're doing, there's like two ways you can do it. It's like, okay, I want to write something in character in this universe, and I want to try to do realistic characterization and whatever. And then the other way of interacting with fan content is I'm going to take these characters and play with them like dolls.
Yeah. I'm gonna like smush their faces.
I'm gonna smush their faces together and throw them into a fantasy medieval world just for funsies. And I'm like, that you know what? That's real.
Yeah, I saw a thing on Tumblr the other day that was like, in canon, these characters... It was about Stranger Things.
Of course.
But in canon, these characters are going through the horrors. But what if I plucked them and made them shop at IKEA? For like wrote a whole fic about them just shopping at IKEA.
Beautiful. Like, I think there's a fic... I really should finish it sometime just because it's a really fun writing practice because it's entirely in a script format.
I love that.
Because it's for a podcast I really like. And there's like 6 main characters. And I started to write it not as a script. And I was like, this is so dialogue heavy. I don't know how to balance it with other normal writing, so I'm just going to make it a script. And the plot is, it's for a podcast I like called Midnight Burger.
I have never heard of that.
It's so good. It's one of the only podcasts I've ever listened to. Like, the first episode's always kind of rough, but I listened to it, the characterization, the writing, it was so good. I was immediately like, oh my God. There's a character called Casper who they refer to as the saddest man in the universe. No, he deserves it. But,
he deserves it.
You'll get more into the story. It's beautiful. So the main cast is, it's like you have Gloria, who's like a cook whose taqueria just closed down in the COVID pandemic. She's found a job listing for this diner called Midnight Burger. You've got Casper. who's the saddest man in the universe. You've got Leaf, who's the cook of this restaurant, and you have Dr. Ava Maddox, a rogue like astrophysicist that found her way to this diner. Because the thing about this diner is it moves through time and space, like TARDIS style. It's basically, imagine Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy meets Doctor Who.
I like
that. That is this show. It's really, really good. And then some of my favorite characters personally, old-timey preacher radio couple that lives in the radio and talks about Jesus, but Jesus is a metaphor, and they're actually pretty chill.
I love that.
They're actually pretty chill. So I won't say more about it because we'll get into spoiler territory, but I think you might enjoy it.
I'm intrigued by it.
It's really, really fun. It has some of the funniest lines I've ever heard in my life. They just get into situations. But anyway, because the diner can go potentially anywhere within space and time and in the universe, I was like, you know what would be funny? What if they meet Dracula?
That is funny.
What if the diner lands in the middle of the forest? There's like wolves howling in the background. They're all trying to figure out what to do because the diner takes them to specific places where there's problems and they're supposed to like fix the problems or something. They only figure this out at a certain point though. So I was like, wouldn't it be funny? They go to this place. They're trying to figure out what to do. All of a sudden there's a knocking on the door. Dracula's on the door. He's knocking. Let me in. Let me in. And then because the people that live in the radio, one of them, she has like some sort of prophetic powers. So she has some level of omniscience. So she's like, don't let that guy in. That guy's messed up. The vibes are bad. It's like the devil because everything is through a Bible metaphor.
Yeah.
But, and then the rest of the fan fiction that I have to write is just them trying to figure out and like arguing about what to do about Dracula so long. By the time they figure out what to do, the sun has risen, and they open the door and there's just a pile of ash where he was standing.
That's such a funny bit.
I think.
Did you come up with that or is that canon?
No, I came up with that part. Because it seems in character for all of them because
I love
they're all these really interesting, funny, and also screwed up characters, but they complement each other, but they also clash in like the worst way sometimes.
Yes.
So like I could fully see them just bickering and arguing for so long about what to do about this weird guy outside. Like several hours pass and the sun rises and he's dead.
That's really funny. The way you described them made me think of that meme. I think someone described It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. It's like the worst people you've ever met, but at least they have each other.
So in some cases, I'm probably not the worst people you've ever met.
No, definitely not as bad.
Just
as
more like these guys all have some issues. At least they have each other.
Aww.
It's cute. I started to watch It's Always Sunny over the summer.
Really?
Yes, because my brother really likes it. So we were watching it as a family. That show is pretty funny. I thought the Revolutionary War episode was... They have an episode where it's like they're making up a story about their bar to try to get it on a historic register so they can get money or something from it.
Of course.
So they're making up a story about how their bar was involved in the American Revolution. And it's like the worst... Like... Amazon, I don't even know if Amazon existed when this show first started coming out in the early 2000s. It's like Amazon, like they searched up Amazon Revolutionary War costumes, and it's really funny. It's really funny.
So good. I haven't watched it, but I really like Abbott Elementary.
Yes, Lee also really likes Abbott Elementary.
It's so cute. I just really like it. I feel like what makes a good sitcom, because I'm not the biggest sitcom fan.
Yeah.
Again, I love my like escapism shows, supernatural stuff. Especially, I love my cartoons.
Yes, absolutely.
But I love a good sitcom where it's the characters like make jokes at each other, like at each other's expense, but like they clearly still care about each other. Yeah. It's like funny and not just like this person is ugly and they suck, which is kind of crossing in, I think, into the Office territory. But I also haven't watched it, so I don't know if I can make that judgment.
I think some of the Office, from what I saw, was actually quite funny. But
there are funny bits.
Some of it falls into that. Have you ever? This is going to be really bad. This is the exact example of what you're just talking about. But have you ever seen Community?
Okay,
I love Community.
But that's different.
I love
feel like
Community.
with Community is they don't take themselves seriously to the point where they literally have they have the G.I. Joe episode, they have the stop motion Christmas episode, they have the paintball episode.
Oh, I love the paintball episodes.
It's so good, and they're not taking themselves seriously.
Oh yeah,
but also
it's a good balance of it's actually like so. Okay, the thing about Community, it's so hard to recommend to people because at the end of the day, it was a show that was made in the 2000s, so you will watch an episode. And it will be like the worst, most poorly aged, unfunny thing you ever watched. Yeah. And then the next episode you watch will be the funniest, most like heaven-blessed, godly creation of humor to ever fall down upon this earth. I need to rewatch it. I need to make my friends rewatch it. Yes. Because I just saw the clip where it was like the episode where they're all describing their perfect world. It has something to do with like Shirley goes to heaven for the rapture because she's a Christian. Everyone else is stuck on Earth. Episode. I think it is the Halloween episode. But just the clip of the dean busting open the door in the devil outfit with the corset and the lipstick and the tights and the chainsaw going, gay marriage.
No, the dean is so great.
Oh, like, it's so funny.
I think he's in like the split costume.
Yes.
Where he's like, I've got good news and bad news, and I have to go to the bank today. And he's got like a suit and like a dress, and he's split down the middle. What? It's so. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do. And now I'm just remembering all the Dean bits. And now I'm remembering one where he's like the giant payday candy bar, and he just starts rapping, and he starts saying all these things, and then he just drops the mic and he goes, "I don't know what that was. I don't know what that was," and he just runs away and starts crying.
Ah, yes, like, Community is so good because
it's so good.
The minor characters even because like well, he's not a minor character, but Chang.
Oh yeah.
Troy
and Abed are my best friends.
No, I love Troy and Abed. I really love Annie, but I think that's also the unfortunate thing of when the show was written. Yeah. Because they have the whole Annie's pretty young. We try not to sexualize her thing. But I don't like when they pair up with Jeff. Yeah, no. And
that is one of the bigger plot points that's like the show shows its age and you go, ooh.
Yeah. And I think especially they really did Britta dirty with the writing. And I just feel like Jeff and Britta, that's like the whole reason why he joined the thing, and I feel like it would have been interesting to draw it out a little more, or even like, don't give us romance.
Yeah, but it was a show in the 2000s, so if there's a boy and there's a girl, they gotta kiss. They gotta go.
But the exception to that, because again, when I think of sitcoms, my brain always goes to Glee because, that show was weird. But it definitely broke some boundaries I think that needed to be broken.
So I've never seen the entirety of Glee. I've seen clips of it and I've been like, what is that? The only 2 episodes, I think I saw the first 2 or 3 episodes because that's the show my one roommate, Bree, would watch when she was sick. So sophomore year, I remember she was sick. We were sitting in like the common room in Eisenhower and she's watching Glee. And I'm watching this show going, I don't think he's allowed to do that.
No.
I think that teacher is violating some personal codes of ethic and professionalism.
Yeah, let's talk about...
I don't think he should do that.
Let's talk about how in the first episode, to get Finn to join the Glee Club, first of all, he goes into the boys' locker room while Finn is showering and stares at him singing. And then he frames him by putting, like... I think it's weed.
Yeah, he plants like weed on him, and he's like, "Listen, man, if you don't want," because he's in sports too, is the thing. So he's like, "If you don't want me to tell your coach, you gotta join the Glee Club." Which that's such a High School Musical plot line, isn't it?
Really is.
I can sing, but I also play football.
Oh my gosh,
what shall I do?
Yeah, but I think the thing with High School Musical is just like, I don't know, it's.
That's fair.
Glee is so serious sometimes.
Glee takes itself seriously.
I think with Rachel especially. Ooh. Like, she's the worst theater kid, the worst girl in your theater department in
Theater kid, capital T, capital K.
Yeah. When she sends the girl to the crack house.
Oh my God.
She sends this girl to a crack house because she doesn't want her to take her solos in the Glee Club.
Oh my God.
And then her response is, I didn't send her to an active crack house.
That's insane. I think the only other clip I've seen from that show recently, it's the one where like Sue Sylvester is talking to the one kid. Oh. And she's like, there's only one person that can decide if you're gay or not. And he goes me? Me? No, me. Sue Sylvester.
And she hasn't made up her mind about you.
Honestly, I did like Sue Sylvester. No, my friend Bree was Sue Sylvester for Halloween a couple years ago, and it was beautiful. It was beautiful. It was so fun. But so I haven't seen a whole lot of Glee. I'm trying to think what else. I've seen some clips from Dr. House, but exclusive from House MD, but it's exclusively those clips I'll get on my Instagram of like the gayest things I've ever seen in my life between House and Wilson, and I go, wow, they really don't queerbait like a 2000 sitcom anymore, don't they?
The only thing, I really don't know much about it. I just know the memes where House's head is huge and he's got the tiny body. And I know the actor who plays, I don't know his name, the actor who plays Wilson, he was Neil in Dead Poets Society.
That's why he looks so familiar.
Literally a great movie.
I love them. We watched it in my high school English class.
Really?
If you like Dead Poets Society, this is going to be such a weird tangent for a very brief moment. If you like Dead Poets Society, I think you would also like the vibe of the holdovers. Whoa, are you okay?
I just had like a I feel like I just jump scared Shelby a bit. I did like a foxy jump.
Five Nights at Freddy's lunge. I can see on the recording where the audio peaked.
I'm sorry.
Because you went, and I went, oh, whoa.
I didn't mean to yell. But
okay.
no, I did actually watch that movie last Christmas, and I really liked it. I watched it with my family, and
I also really liked it. I'm going to make my
especially,
roommates watch it.
She had a huge issue with the ending because she was like, it's not happy. And I feel like, again, with that type of, it's kind of a similar thing to Dead Poet Society where it's like, it's a bittersweet ending.
Yeah.
And I also don't think that movies always have to have the realistic ending because, like, again, a lot of people... I like to use movies as kind of like a sense of escapism, but also there's nothing wrong with like incorporating realistic stuff. And I feel like it's also him. I'm blanking on what the teacher's name is.
I also can't remember.
But
his name,
him taking the blame.
Yeah.
And just like taking it around full circle, and he says the thing where he's like, "It's this eye."
Yep.
I think it ties everything up really nice. And I can't think of any other way they would have.
Yeah, like it's not a super happy feel good ending, but I also feel like that's not the kind of movie. Like it definitely has comedic moments. But
when he's in the gym and he like breaks his arm.
Oh yeah.
That killed me because he flies so high in the air.
The vibes were incredible.
No, it's great.
So I remember, I forget what movie we were seeing in the theaters, but I was there with my family and we're watching the trailer for the movie. And my dad goes, "Oh, are they re-releasing an older movie?" And I go, "No, Dad, this is a new movie. Like this is the first time it's coming out." And he's like, "But the style and the sound is like so 80s." I'm like, "Yeah, Dad, they did that on purpose. They did that on purpose." And he's like, "Oh, that's cool."
I love when they do that. I know they did
bring it back. I love the feeling of those movies.
One of the VHS movies, I want to say it's 1989, but they specifically filmed with like a camera to make it like grainier and seem like older, which I haven't seen that, but it's back to like a found footage type of thing.
Ooh, going back. Okay. I just remembered this. Here's the tangent. You're talking about the footage looks older. I remember I started to watch Fear Street Prom Queen. Promptly stopped. Have you seen... The only reason I thought of that was because they have a bit at the beginning where they're like doing a video recorder thing and they're trying to make it look like so 80s. So have you seen any of the Fear Street movies?
I've seen all of them. I didn't watch the new one. I've seen the original 3.
So I also watched the original 3 over the summer. How did you feel about them? I thought I enjoyed them.
I enjoyed them. Like them, and I think they're really good. I kind of think of them in my head as good like starter horror movies,
yes,
especially for teenagers. I think I kind of in my head,
kind of the vibe they were going for, which
think of them,
they delivered.
I mean, they have the skull mask in the first movie.
Oh yeah,
they do the whole Drew Barrymore thing where they have Maya Hawke, like an actress that's popular with younger people, and then like spoilers if you haven't seen the first Fear Street, but then they kill her off in the first couple of minutes. But it definitely they weren't my favorite.
I think the way that I saw someone describe them is they pay really good homages to the different genres of horror. They're trying to like. The first one is a really good homage to 90s Scream, 90s slashers, and the other one is the classic slasher
Friday
really
the 13th
well.
Camp thing,
But they didn't necessarily do anything too new. They weren't like fantastic, is what a lot of people said. I enjoyed them, honestly.
Yeah.
Like they didn't shatter my world. No. I won't be thinking about them for the rest of time. But as far as the vibes go, I liked them a lot.
Cool vibes.
I really liked them. They had some gnarly kills.
Oh my gosh! I know we're thinking of the same one
from the first movie.
The bread slicer.
Yeah, the bread slicer. We shan't say more.
No, it's so good. I also know the actress who played Kate. She was like so hyped that she got such a cool death.
Because that's what she's remembered for.
Yeah, if I were to be in a horror movie and my character had to die, I'd be like, at least make it cool. But I think the other thing with the Fear Street movies is whenever I see rankings, everyone puts the third one the lowest, and I felt like that was the most unique one to me. Yeah,
because that one did definitely branch out more on its own, because it was specifically, I think I was looking at the Wikipedia page earlier, as I often do, but because that one was inspired by the New World as opposed to an actual like horror movie, like a classic horror. So I think it does have a really distinct vibe, and I can see what it's going for. Honestly, I just really like the genre of historical horror. I think I think I saw a Tumblr post saying something like, give me more supernatural thrillers in like Edo era Japan or something like that.
That would be
I'm
really
like,
cool.
that would be fascinating. I want to see horror movies played out in different periods of history and like different cultures. Because I think that would be so fascinating.
There's quite a few movies that I think like are really cool, but I haven't seen, and they're on my watch list, but I have to bring them up so other people can watch them. But the newest, or I don't know if it was the newest, but it's part of the Predator series. It was Prey.
I do need to see that because I've heard very, very good things.
And I know that is technically a period piece because I know it follows like a native girl, and I forget what time period it takes place in, but it's not modern day. And it's really cool to see in modern movies that are representing older times how different characters survive.
Yes. Well, because think about it, especially the time period you're working on, you'd have to get creative because modern slashers, even if you've got characters just doing really dumb things, you have phones.
Yeah.
You have guns. You have all sorts of weapons. I think The Witch does this especially really well, which is you can play up that isolation aspect too. And you can do really, really interesting things. I think it'd be really interesting to see a horror movie set in 1816, the year without a summer.
That would be
you
cool.
know? I think about that. That'd be so fun.
I'd watch
That'd be so fun.
Again, not to always bring it back to Stranger Things, but I'm on the brain rot again. But
it's Peculiar Happenings. That's our show,
seeping into my brain.
Real.
But when we were like saying how modern technology impacts like plots, I was like rewatching the scene in season 3 when they don't know what Planck's constant is. So they have to go to Cerebro and call Susie because they don't have Google.
Yes, I saw a really funny Tumblr post that it's like, the part of the thing that's really fun about Stranger Things too is they don't have Google, so they have to like you said, go to this radio to contact Dustin's girlfriend somewhere in Utah. Or they have to like bang on their science teacher's door at 8 p.m. and be like, Mr. Clark!
Mr. Clark! I hope they bring him back.
I hope they bring him back. Mr. Clark, my OG.
Yes.
My bestie. Bring him back.
R.I.P. Joyce Byers, you would love Life 360.
Oh, yeah.
She would bug all of Will's
Joyce Byers would have loved an Apple AirTag.
Yes. Oh, random thing about Apple AirTags, but
my shoe came untied. Sorry. I realized as I was kicking my foot back and forth.
A little something. We're both like kicking our feet.
Yeah.
But wait, was it? What was it? It was.
We were talking about Apple Joyce and how she would have loved Apple AirTags, which I find those at work sometimes that have fallen off children, and I have to call a manager and be like, "Well, I found someone's AirTag."
Yeah,
here.
found something. But
gotta take this off me.
I've been a camp counselor the past couple years, and the kids aren't supposed to have any like Apple Watches or like phones, Fitbits, anything like that. And this one girl, she's like, I have it, but my parents like to like track it so they know where I am. And I completely forgot that she had it. And I was in the bathroom, all the kids are asleep, I'm getting ready to go to bed. And then my phone just says an Apple phone, like an AirTag is in your location. Someone's tracking your location. And I was like, that's terrifying.
I would have pooped my pants.
No, because I was like, I'm in this cabin in the woods with 6 children and someone's tracking us.
Yeah.
That's really scary.
Hey, new idea for a horror story.
Cabin in the woods.
Cabin in the woods.
Oh, I still
need to watch it.
I like that movie. I watched it with a friend, and we both liked it. And my brother watched it, and he didn't like it. He thought it was weird. But honestly, maybe
sometimes that's the vibe.
Sometimes
love a good, you like it.
Because I think I also told you I loved Lisa Frankenstein.
I also love Lisa Frankenstein.
And I think a lot of people were like, this is too weird.
It's like, nah, this is just right.
It's perfect.
This is just right. I watched that movie with Lee.
Really?
Yes. Because I'm trying to acclimate them to a little more of the more horror, the more gore stuff. So, which is why we are going to watch Scream at some point.
Acclimate.
Huh?
Sorry.
What?
Sorry. There's this video of this lady where she's like in the water. I think I can't remember if she says acclimate or accumulate, but she's trying to get used to the water. She goes like one arm in and then one arm in.
She's going acclimate.
Acclimate.
We're trying to do that. Yeah. We're trying to do that with Lee with horror because the first thing I showed them was Evil Dead 2. We still have to watch Army of Darkness. But I'm going to show them Scream. But I also showed them Lisa Frankenstein.
Yeah, I feel like that's a good one.
the scene, capital TS. You know the scene I speak of, where it goes flying across the room.
Yeah.
That, they were like screaming and grabbing my arm and shaking me. I don't think they were super, super freaked out. They just weren't expecting it.
No,
and they're like,
it's crazy.
I love them. I also watched that movie with my parents because like it's really campy, it's really silly. I think you guys might like it. That everyone loses their mind.
Oh my
it's
God.
so
Catherine
funny.
Newton's
and
facial expressions in that
Catherine
movie,
Newton.
she's fantastic.
She slays. But what was I thinking? We also watched Heathers lately.
I
just want to watch the musical.
Seen Heathers. I know the musical. I watched, I think, part of a slime tutorial, if you will.
Slime tutorial.
In like high school,
and
I love Winona Ryder.
I love Winona Ryder.
She's amazing. And I know it's not technically horror, but I feel like it kind of teeters on the edge a little.
Like it's a dark comedy, and it's a really dark comedy. I watch it. I think I probably will end up liking the musical more.
Yeah,
just because fun musical. I can see what the movie was trying to get at though, and I can see like for 1989.
Yeah,
like what I could see what it was doing. But anyway, to get back, welcome. Yeah. This is our first massive tangent where we then loop back. This is a staple of the Peculiar Happenings show. We're talking about Fear Street because Prom Queen.
Yes,
I
completely
did not watch it because I watched the first 5 minutes and I was like, this is lame. And then I stopped watching. And then I watched the dead meat for it because I didn't want to watch the actual movie. I think the best thing about that movie was like the weird artsy girl that was like making masks in her room and like orange Halloween lights while smoking a joint. And I was like, this is incredible. I love that for her. That's so cool. She's so cool. Give her her own movie.
Yeah, there's always like a sick character in the horror movies. I think of in one of the Friday the 13th movies, I think it was like the 5th one or something. There's this super cool girl. She's goth. She's like in a room. She's like dancing. There's a song called "His Eyes" by Suedo Echo, which I stole and put in my playlist because it was really cool.
I love that.
But she's like dancing in her room and she's like doing her goth dancing, and then the not Jason.
The not Jason.
Because Jason's not the killer in that one.
Okay,
it's a random guy.
I love that. I think. It's like Friday the 13th Part 8, where it's like Jason Takes Manhattan or something, where they didn't have the budget to actually shoot in the city, so it's mostly on a boat, and they have one shot of him like storming through Times Square. I think the one clip I've seen of him is him like storming through the city
when he
like
the one guy.
The pavement owes him money or something, and it's really funny because even everyone else it's supposed to be New York City, but even everyone else is like, what is that guy's issue? Dang, I almost just accidentally swore. Not allowed. Not allowed. No. It's been a while since we've had a swearing incident on WDBL, and I'd like to stay that way.
Putting a filter on my brain.
But yeah, Prom Queen.
I don't think I'm gonna watch it.
If anything, just watch the dead meat. At least he makes it entertaining because the movie itself ain't it. It seemed so generic. It seemed so bland. The fashion was uninspired. It didn't look like 80s.
Yeah.
The hair, not it. The dresses, like the prom dresses. Ugliest prom dresses I ever seen. And you know what I think now that I've seen it, because I've watched Prom Night from 1980, now that I've seen it, it's just, that's a really good slasher movie set on prom, and there's a fantastic like dance scene.
Yes.
Anything else just pales in comparison, especially Prom Queen, because it's so weird, it's uninspired.
I think I just don't like when movies like franchise, I'm doing franchise in quotation marks, especially with like the Until Dawn movie, which wasn't tied to Until Dawn at all. I feel like if they were gonna do a movie that wasn't like, it's not the original characters at all, a new Fear Street, they could have at least kept the Sarah Fier thing and have a killer that is like possessed.
Exactly.
That's what I thought they were gonna do.
So, because the way that it seems like they came up with a mediocre movie and they just wanted to slap the Fear Street title onto it to get some sort of traction. I absolutely agree. I think it would have been 1,000% more fascinating to see a movie covering the backstory, because obviously we already know what happens, but it'd be really interesting to see the build-up for like Harry Rooker.
I wanted a Ruby Lane movie.
I was going to say,
that's
Ruby
what
Lane,
I thought it was going to be.
Ruby Lane is one of the most iconic, one of really the coolest. I love her.
No, she's really
Give her her own movie.
I think especially they could really drive home the fact something that in the third one that kind of made me mad is that they don't address the fact that all these killers are victims. Like, Tommy was just a sweet guy. He was a good counselor. He was a good boyfriend. But also Cindy was definitely gay. She was definitely using him. I could see it. I can
see it.
But that's just, maybe it's just because she had the whole type by trying to be perfect thing going on. But like, he was just a good guy, and then he was just like chosen, and he was forced to kill a bunch of kids.
And I think it would be really fascinating to see the build-up. What were these people's lives actually like? And because then you could also document, because obviously if they were sacrificed at a certain point and then they were stopped, it'd be really interesting to see like the build-up and then maybe a bit of the aftermath. Because I feel like they have such an interesting concept there. Like, okay, come on, 1960s, like, serial killer girl that sings. That's really cool.
Billy Barker, child serial killer.
Yeah,
that's so interesting.
That is so interesting. And then there's also the milkman guy, which could be super fun. I could see them having a blast. I would have a blast with
he's really
the over the top, like, jarring contrast between like 1950s, like, quote, perfect suburbia and this milkman going around serial killing people. And then they even have that guy in the early 20th century. And because most of them are in the 20th century, there's kind of a gap in the 18th century.
Yeah, there's a huge gap.
Most of them are early 19th century. There's a huge gap in the 18th century. They could even invent some other sort of killer that appeared somewhere in, like, I don't even know, Revolutionary War era.
Yeah.
Something crazy like that.
Flip it and show us more about the bad guys. Show us more about the goods, because we don't know anything about the goods.
Yes. We just know that it could be really interesting to get like a goods backstory. Yeah.
Because something I've seen people talk about is like why the goods chose specific people. Because they're like, I think someone said Nick chose Tommy because he was jealous. Yeah. Everyone liked him, even though he didn't have like a family tie to his name. And I think that could be cool.
I absolutely agree. I definitely think, because it could just be some random people. They just chose the first person they thought of, but obviously they're already kind of a messed up family. They're already pretty corrupt. Yeah. Me personally, if I was like, I don't know, a 17-year-old, like, carry on the family legacy, you got to write someone's name down and they'll go crazy and die. I'd be like, well, I'm 17 years old. I guess I'll write down the name of this person I hate. I'll go full Death Note L with it, I guess.
Like good people. Yeah. Like Sam. What did Sam do? She was just... She was just being gay in the 90s.
That's so true. God forbid.
God forbid. Oh, that's also such a good little twist that they have in the first one when they're like Sam and they're like showing this couple. Because every like reaction I've seen to Fear Street, they're like, is Sam the girl or is Sam the guy?
I fully wasn't expecting it, and I was like, oh, I'm so tired. There's gonna be like another story. Oh my god! It was the exact same reaction I had in like season 3 of Stranger Things, where I was dreading the build up for Steve and Robin the entire season. I was like, oh god, how many times are they gonna do this song and dance with Steve? This is so lame. I don't want to. What?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Love Robin though. She's genuinely one of my favorite characters, and I'm really excited to see the Will and Robin dynamic.
Yes, because they're going on.
They're gonna have scenes. Yes, but also her book. I want to say it's Rebel Robin.
There's also a podcast, Rebel Robin.
Yes, that's the book. It's Maya Hawke reading the book. It's an audiobook.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes, it's so cool.
That's so cool.
But yeah.
So okay, we're just approaching time. I think we're a little over time, and I know we could keep talking about Robin and Stranger Things for ages and ages.
Could.
So
we'll save it for next time.
Yes, we'll cut it off here. We'll save the rest of our discussion for next week. Yay. Because if all goes to plan, we'll probably see if you'd be free and would like to return for our actual interview.
I would love to
interview episode. Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me. This is so fun.
Of course. This is very fun. And now that I know how to do Prod A and Graham and stuff, we probably will be planning to have some more fun guest episodes. So anyone out there listening, keep tuned. Stay tuned in for that in the future. All right. This has been Peculiar Happenings. I'm Shelby, and our dear co-host Lee is not with us today, but they'll return next week. So until then, stay weird.